appreciate the attention. I think there are 22 reservations today, and then I think we've got about just shy of 20 on Zoom. I just wanted to kind of start as we have our first Coffee of the DM. We've made a commitment last year is that during the Coffee of the DMs, we're going to have sort of introductions of members of our management team. We get a better feel of who is out there providing you the service in all the different areas here. And today we have Livia and we have Jason. I chatted about this a little bit before, is we have all our fitness programming consolidated under Livia, who runs the spa, and Jason, who's managing all the fitness programming. So as opposed to kind of having our fitness programming over in and for our members, we combined the two, which has really been additive as far as the classes, new ideas, and it's great to see the new vibrancy coming into the program here. So if I could, I'd like to introduce Livia, and she's going to tag team a little bit with Alex and talk about what's happening in the world of fitness. Livia.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I get to know all of you, so thank you for having us on the agenda today. Jason and I have some exciting fitness updates that we'll be sharing and speaking to some spa new things that are happening. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jason, and he's going to take you through what's new in fitness right now.
Good morning, everyone. Before we start, I want you to let's do a few things to kind of warm up your necks before you hear all this stuff, okay? So let's start by you standing tall and rotate side to side for 20 times. Let's loosen up the neck before you hear whatever I have to say. Okay, let's keep going, nice and easy, not force your neck. Good, now we're gonna go front and back, same thing. Good, now we're gonna rotate all the way back. Now switch sides. And hopefully you're not busy to hear all this. All right, so let's start. We have made took the initiative to start some premium classes. This week's title had a bunch of information on it. So I'm just going to discuss a little bit about that. What is a premium class? So a premium class usually is, it's either a specific certificate that our instructor took or specific equipment that we provided for you to have, so you don't have to purchase anything in advance to come into the class. So we're starting off with the foam rolling class. We partnered with a company called Hyperice, and it's the leading company that helps NBA players and to do foam rolling, stretch classes, and deep tissue work. And our new instructor, Gemily Marquez, will take over. There is a demo class on the 27th of this month, and it's going to be free of charge. You can come in to see it. Right after that, the class itself, it's going to be about $20 each time you come in, okay? And we're going to move over to the next fitness class that we're trying to introduce as a premium, and that's going to be a bar class at the barn, and that's going to start Labor Day weekend. We'll just kind of see how it is. It's a beautiful scenery out there. Had a chance to go out there last week, and it's so beautiful when it's not raining, of course. Next step, we had some issues with people not being able to get into some of the classes, and we took care of that by adding one more class right away this Tuesday, fitness strength class at 11 o'clock with Gemily Marquez. So that was a very quick response from us. We're trying to see if we can accommodate as many people as possible. Next thing, we're going to move over to the face mask at the Canoe Club. So there is a time limit between 6 and 11 a.m. that we set that up, that you're required to wear the mask the whole time. And what that simply is we are keeping track of how many people come into those hours. And the more people we see, the more we're excited to maybe expand the time in the Canoe Club of having to wear masks. So that's just an initiative to see how everything's going with that. We're going to move over to the wait list. So that's probably been one of the biggest headaches on the fitness side. We are working, we're almost there, and that process will possibly be automated within the next, I don't want to give a time frame here, but soon enough. We're just working with Club Essentials. There is a button on my side that I can enable it, but it's not fully functional yet, but it's going to be automated, which means you don't have to get my text message at 5, 6 p.m. while you're eating dinner saying, hey, do you want to come into the class tomorrow? So that's going to be fully automated. We're going to add some outdoor classes, and we're starting with a outdoor boot camp. Who's Jen Lee Marquez, our new instructor. Again, she'll be teaching that, and we're going to put that every Wednesday and at 9 a.m. So that's going to be an outdoor class for those of you who want to participate in a class outside and be a little bit, COVID conscious. And the next thing is the virtual classes. So the virtual classes, we're offering pretty much most of our classes virtually through Zoom. So there was an issue with the connection specifically here at Moreland. That's being fixed as we're speaking right now. So we send our IT people to be able to expand the speed of the internet service. So we're able to have a better quality classes. And it's something that you can participate wherever you are. And our instructors are really good about being able to communicate through the two ways, one on the group class and then on the virtual side. Okay. Do we have any questions about any of those things that I just spoke about? I just said a lot of things. Yes, Athena.
Sign it 2 weeks and then all of a sudden they're saying automatically it comes in and I don't see it. I just go online and see what happens.
Very good question. So I was planning with Leslie over here to make an announcement for everybody to be able to sign up on automated messages with your text. So that way, when there is obviously somebody on the waiting list, and you're the first person on the waiting list, and you will receive a text message, hopefully as soon as possible in the morning, so you'll be able to get into the class.
Something I cannot make the class. Can I do something or
If you're so if you're on the waiting list and you move into the class and you're not able to take the class, is what you're asking? Yeah, so you can just notify me or notify member services and we'll be able to take you off the list. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't quite understand the mask between 6 and 11 a.m.
Yes, at Canoe Club, we set up a rule, I guess I should say, that you have to wear a mask the whole time you're in that fitness center between 6 and 11 a.m. And that's something that some of our membership wanted to include. And we're taking notes of how many people sign in between those times to be able to track it and see how many people are coming in between those times. Right, if you want to add something to it.
Let me just kind of add that to that. And I've brought this up a few times, is amongst our members, we have some people that really don't want to wear a mask while they're working out, and others that don't want to be around anybody when they have their masks off. So we have two camps out there. And we had a robust conversation with the advisory committee about creating this new class. And what that was is we said, let's take one location for a period of time and see what is the level of interest where masks are required for the entire time, even when you're on the station working on the equipment. And the response has been significant. So the reason we chose Canoe Club, I was thinking about doing it in, say, over at the lodge over at River Road because it's less occupied. And the feeling from the member advisory committee, which I thought was a great suggestion, is if you did it at the Canoe Club, the option of the River House is pretty darn close to be able to do that. So it has been a huge success. We're gauging the amount of attendance to that. There are several people that are saying we'd like to expand what that is. But I think we're also taking a look, as Jason mentioned, on the outdoor classes where you don't wear the mask, but you're in a safe environment in the outdoors. Obviously, in the wintertime, it was a little bit of a challenge. So this was just an option we created recently. Sorry about that, Jason.
Oh, you're fine. Any other questions fitness related, Jim?
Of the system, in terms of timing, when you get notified that you get in class, let's say the 7:30 a.m. spin class.
Sure.
Is it likely that that would notify us the night before? Because the morning of is a little bit challenging. Is there a time frame so far as when people have to cancel and when that would take people into the process?
Sure, that's a good question. I want to say 24 hours is what I want to say. So if somebody cancels, you know, at 7:30 a.m. for a spin class the day before, you'll get a notification that if you're the first person on the waiting list, that you should receive a message or an email for that. So 24 hours is what I want to say, because that gives enough time for everybody to be able to see the message and, you know, be able to act and see, oh, I don't have anything on my schedule. Any other questions, Frank? So it's going to be over at the stables. Yes, that is correct. There's some space for us to do some, take the opportunity to see the scenery, maybe have some guests like horses coming in while you're taking a class. Yeah. So any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I don't quite understand the barn, and are you gonna have a bar?
Yes, so I actually went there last week to see if there is a physical bar, obviously, and there is something that we can use, height related, that is about 4 feet or so. That is basically a basic requirement for the bar class to have. And then that is why, because we don't have a physical bar at the canoe club or any other of our gyms. So just trying to think through and see where we can do that. And if we do have people coming in and interested, maybe we can introduce it in the future.
Barefoot and
That is correct.
sticky socks on a carpet?
Yes, that is correct. So we're going to provide the carpet. The bar itself is, you know, it's outside basically. It's covered, of course. And we're going to provide the waters, the towels, the mats, all that stuff. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions?
How long are you gonna keep this spa discounts?
That's over.
Perfect intro, thank you. So yes, I'm happy to share that we have now extended the spa 20% discount 7 days a week. So prior it was Monday through Thursday. So that 20% will now apply to all spa and salon services 7 days a week. So we're happy to introduce that or extend that. And I just wanted to touch on some of the new treatments that we have. We launched a new menu at the end of 2020, and we have some wonderful partnerships with some great companies. We have a new section on our menu called Elements of Wellness. And these signature services were created by our lead therapists across Montage Properties in collaboration with our product partners, as well as our Vice President of Spa and Retail at our corporate office. So it's a pleasure to have these unique services that are branded and created just for Montage. And we would love to invite you and have you come and experience some of these treatments. We have, as Jason mentioned, Hyper Ice. We are even incorporating this technology into some of our services. So our California Wildflower includes this Hyper Ice technology as part of the massage, and we're using nice herbal poultices in that service, as well as the company Lola's Apothecary is based out of London, and they've created a signature scent for us, which is a beautiful orange blossom. So we're using that orange blossom souffle in that service. So it's a really nice treatment. And we've also launched a promotion over Valentine's Day with one of these new services called Pure Bliss. We are using the Lola's Apothecary products in this beautiful Pure Bliss service as well. And we're doing a nice takeaway gift if you're booking that service over the Valentine's weekend. So I'd love to see all of you come and visit us at the spa and experience some of our new services. And then also what we do there's a text opt-in, and I don't know, are any of you, raise your hand if you're included on our text promotions via text? Okay, well, I just want to make sure everyone knows that that's available, so you can connect with Leslie if you are interested in receiving promotions that come from the spa. We often will do little flash promotions within a month that maybe aren't featured in the Life on the Bluff or in the Palmetto Bluff Living. So I encourage you to opt into that if you'd like to take advantage of some last minute promotions that we can push out throughout the months. And then just a little vision, I just wanted to touch kind of in collaboration with what Jason was speaking about with our new partnerships, especially with Hyper Ice, but kind of our vision for the rest of the year is we're really looking, you know, at wellness holistically from a fitness aspect, from the spa aspect, and even incorporating more into the world of nutrition. So you will be seeing some really fun events. We will be inviting a new company called Health House. They'll be joining us in April. They'll be here for a weekend event. It's a company based out of California. They are in the Los Angeles area and have 2 studios, one in Los Angeles and one in Kansas City is where their original company is based, but they'll be out here for a really fun weekend. We're going to do a series of classes with them. They'll have 2 of their instructors, really high energy, really fun company. They'll be here for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just would like to see everyone there. If fitness is your thing, it's they're really, really energetic, really focused more on high intensity interval training type of classes. So it'll be a pleasure to have them here with us. And we are also in the virtual world, we'll be offering some of their classes, especially zoomed in just for people who want to experience those classes virtually as well. And then just down the road, you're going to see more from us in the way of events as far as wellness. We have a big event that we're still planning in the works for July. We have branded what's called Well Living. So that is, it's from a Montage perspective, our signature all-encompassing brand for wellness. So we really are, you know, focusing on events, bringing in expert speakers that specialize in different modalities, just so that we can do wellness talks, wellness events. So I just wanted to let you know that that's something that we're really working on and that you'll be seeing a lot more in the way of events and wellness series. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Appreciate that. Just I want to kind of repeat again, you see Jason out and about here. Everything that you just chatted about is a product of feedback from the membership. You know, we have our feedback line to talk about this, but these initiatives, we want to hear from you. How can we continue to raise the bar? And a lot of this is related to the member survey, which we'll chat about in a little bit. I did want to just do a little bit of caveat on the wait list. It's new technology with our provider, the website. We want to test it out and kind of go, so we're making commitments a little bit on the early side because we have to test that out. It's something we've been asking, and I want to Leslie is she's the founding potential our provider for this feature, where if you're on the wait list, you'll be notified on that. So more to follow. I'm very excited about that too. Leslie's going to talk a little bit about member events coming up here, new initiatives. And Leslie, if you could, relative to text notifications, if you could just kind of reiterate the process. If I wanted to opt in to be aware of something, what are the logistics to do that? Thank you.
Thank you, Gray. Hello, everybody. Well, I'll go ahead and start with text notifications. We do have a series of 9 opt-in groups, including fitness, the spa. We also have retail, special events, tennis and pickleball, children's programming. So what we're doing is not sending a text to anyone signed up for text messaging. You would be signed up for text messaging, but you would be opted into those groups. You can do that through your online profile or through our club concierge. So in the case of the spa, they do a great job with the promotions. So anyone signed up for text messaging, which is over 700 members, we have about 390 in the spa group. So those 390 would get a, 40% off massage for these 2 days. They get it, and then the spa gets lots and lots of calls. So we use the spa a lot. We use the tennis and pickleball. We use the retail. So there's quite a few that we send out, and if it's really important messages, we send it to all 700 people signed up. So if you have any questions about text messaging, come see us. We're happy to help with that. So I'm going to talk about a few upcoming events that we have. You guys get a lot of communications, but these are some of our favorites and some new events. So one of the initiatives that Carrie Felix and I are tackling this year are creating new experiences for you as an initiative with the member survey. You wanted new things, new member-only experiences. So we have dug deep to get some really great ideas, and a few of these are already happening. If you guys saw the supper club announcement, we weren't sure how that announcement was going to go when we sent it out. We've never done anything like it. It was 5 dinners for $400. We hadn't announced all the chefs yet, and we went for it. We said, okay, you sign up for all of them, we create camaraderie for a year, and you rotate. There's no refunds, no cancellations. We filled it up with 40 people in 24 minutes. And we didn't open it early, nothing secret there, it just happened. So we do have a wait list, and for this last one, whenever somebody isn't able to attend, we do try to give them a recommendation of who might want their ticket. So we didn't expect it to go that quickly, but we were very pleased. We will be doing this again. We're already thinking about themes for 2022, maybe secret chefs or a chop type deal. So this will not end. So if you didn't get in, there's more to come. So congrats to those that did. But Supper Club's first event is Monday. Another new event this year is bingo. I know Mrs. Singh came to bingo. Thank you. If anybody else did. Sorry for not mentioning you, but it was a lot of fun. It was actually Carrie's first time to ever play bingo. And she was the coordinator of that event. It was a lot of fun. There's a prize every round. It's very low cost. It's about $10 to come. You can buy extra cards. So the big bingo players had about 5 cards in front of them with the dabbers. It's just really fun. It's very organic. It's members only. And it is every month that we do not have trivia. So we're rotating. Every month we either have trivia or bingo. Our next bingo, if we have any Irish in the crowd, it will be St. Patty's Day theme. It will be a lot of fun. It will be the day after St. Patty's Day. So we are taking signups for that. It's in Kohl's. It is very spaced out. So I think hopefully most people felt very safe. We spaced everybody at different tables. Worked out great. A big one coming up. Has anyone seen the marketing for the Beer and Wine Festival? So this is something new that we're doing. Carrie and I had this dream for spring break. We got a lot of adults on property. How fun would it be to create an experience where you got to try really wonderful beers and fine wines, not the regular ones. It would be vendors from all over coming in. Bob is working diligently to get them here. Great bluegrass band. We have some fun food. We were going to incorporate the bottle auction that we had into this event with some lower and higher priced things so everybody can bid. We have 250 tickets. They are non-refundable and they go on sale February 10th. You will need to go to the member website, just like other events. Go on there, register, and that will be February 10th at 9 a.m. for those tickets. I say that over and over because this is another one we don't know. We don't have a precedent for how many will sell out or if it happens, but it will be April 10th from 1 to 4. Here's looking at me. So it's a long time. It's really fun. We have some really great surprises for that event as well. So our first annual member-only Beer and Wine Festival. Also, Cocktails in the Courtyard. We have been promoting that for quite a while. We did fill it up yesterday. Cocktails in the Courtyard is going to be a monthly experience for members out here in Moreland, right by our membership office. We're livening it up out here. It is complimentary beer and wine, music, food from Canteen will be available, games. So it's just kind of a monthly first Friday fun experience to meet your neighbors in an outdoor environment and bring some life to Moreland. We'll be doing that from March to November. Like I said, March did fill up, but the other ones are open. So it's a free experience. We do hope to increase the capacity in the future. We're just very conscious of our COVID guidelines for that. Any questions about that particular event or any of the others? Those are all new events that we have. We have a few others we are not telling you about quite yet. Ideas are welcome. So if you have ideas, please let us know. And lastly, we are bringing back the Somm Showdown. The Sommelier Showdown will be March 2nd. This will be in our new River House Pavilion, which we have sent some information about the new structure going up at River House that I believe Ray will talk about. We want you guys to experience this really neat building that's temporary. So we're doing our Sommelier Showdown with Bob Smith versus Jason Restivo. He's a sommelier in Savannah. They are already smack talking, and it should be a pretty fun event there. So I believe we have a couple spots left, so please let us know if you want to participate in that. And lastly, Easter programming. We will be releasing all of the Easter and spring break programming updated and everything for you this Wednesday in Tidings. We will have an opportunity for you to be able to fill out the things that you want to go to in one fell swoop, so that you can kind of create an itinerary for yourself, your family, and your friends during that time. So please watch Wednesday for all of that Easter and spring break programming to come out. Any questions about events that we're doing on property? Yes, Ms. Singh.
Monday, can you do a takeout for those?
Member Monday at the restaurants? Yes, we are doing Member Mondays. That will continue. I think that's a great segue into Gray talking about our discounts. We did add some discounts on property, but we didn't remove that discount at all. Member Mondays is Kohl's and Octagon. You get a double discount at 40% at those two restaurants. Takeout does not qualify for the Member Monday at the 40% for that. Not for that one. Any other questions? Okay, ideas are welcome. If you're shy today, please come see me. Carrie and I love brainstorming events, so I'm going to pass it back to Gray for a lot of fun activities to talk about.
Thank you, Leslie. So everything we just heard on the fitness, on the member events that we have here, these again, at the bottom of the sheet, we talk a little bit about the feedback, the member survey dashboard. We actually, on the member website, there's a link there that just talks about the member survey and what are the requests that were made in the 2020. And we've talked about adding value to the member experience, providing member-only experiences, taking a look at the discounts. We just mentioned we've expanded the discounts at the spa. So you may or may not know that we not have a discount over at RT's, Provisions, Peter Millar, the new Outfitter store. We didn't have discounts there. So effective February, we now are providing 10% discounts in all the retail, 5% over at RT's. We continue to have the 20% discount in the restaurants. The one comment I want to say on the Member Mondays, the 40% discount that we have, that might rotate to different restaurants in the different areas there. But these discounts that we rolled out, we communicated in the different areas. We want to make sure that our members are feeling that they're getting provided value. So those areas, the bottle shop is now offering discounts, Canteen is offering discounts. All that's located up on the member website. And there's a page that talks about member benefits. We just rolled out the free notary service over at the membership office, which is getting a lot of traffic. So if you need notary service, that's now available. 6 days a week, correct, Leslie? Monday through Saturday for notary service. So again, it's a continued theme as far as providing value, looking at these experiences for our members. We've expanded the member-only dinner. So with the May River Grill, it's now Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is available. And we'll be taking a look at, can we do this at other restaurants as well as other experiences? So this is something that we've committed to, and we'll keep communicating. And you can kind of see updates on that dashboard that we have up on the member website. Any questions on the discounts? Member Mondays? But any feedback like the beer and wine? Yes.
These are member card to get the discounts at RT's and the retail places.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. We want to make sure, and we've chatted about this before, as now that we've got a very robust system on our card processing that you can see your statement, it ensures accuracy of billing, and we are programming it so when that card is swiped, it will recognize that discount. RT's is a little bit different on how it's set up, but we are requesting that cards be presented at all times for those discounts. Great question. And I also want to say thank you for the level of participation. Leslie came up with this idea on the supper, and I was saying, gosh, I don't know, everybody has to commit to 5 different dinners and you can't cancel. And I don't know how well that will take off in 24 minutes. So great ideas. And so we're empowering our managers to make decisions. I think the idea of the barn is the craziest idea I've ever heard of. But let's see how it goes. And I think, you know, I love your creativity, and I bet it's going to be a huge success. So, Jason, thank you for that. The River House Pavilion, what is that? That is that we've drained the pool over at the River House, and we're building a structure over that. And what that's going to be is an event space. And I want to initially apologize for anybody that's impacted by that. We are going to be opening up the Moreland pool will be open as an opportunity. Canoe Club will be heated all the way through the summer, as it's typically we turn off the heat, but it will be open in heated effective February now. The River House renovation, we're really excited about that. But of course, when you do that, we have people that book out reservations well in advance. And so we had to displace them, and we had to come up with an option. And so with any kind of significant change like that, we needed to provide this option. So it's a pretty special place there. It'll have hard floors, heating, air conditioning. It's a gorgeous facility over there. It was intended to take care of those that have been displaced over at the River House during the construction. But of course, Leslie has quickly said, what a magnificent space. So Carrie is planning on some ideas as far as other member events. It's large, it's beautiful. If you have a chance, take a walk over there because it's coming up really quickly. We do have some events coming up in the next week or so, actually. So when you see that structure over there at the pool, anticipate that, but members all will be able to use that as well.
I understand, but it just seems weird that with all the space, all the property here, that facility had to take out a pool. You know, we have 5 pools, now we're down 20%. This summer, you know, if you're gonna, it just seems like there would have been so many other places to put a facility that would have served the purpose that this is.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. And so as we take a look at it in the different areas and you know, as far as that, a few things that we've done is we've expanded over at the hotel. So there's more capacity at the hotel. And so less compression at the Canoe Club and opening that up. And you're right. We've taken out a pool for a period of time, and this is going from February to August. And what are we providing as an alternative? We'll be having here at Moreland, we're going to be opening up the pool bar here. So we have that experience of a pool bar that we had over at the River House. And one of the reasons is proximity to a kitchen. So at the River House, it has a robust banquet kitchen that can provide the services. So when you do the tent in a remote location, what you're doing is you're kind of doing a tent next to a tent, and to provide the service and the experience on it remotely from a kitchen is a challenge. We knew that's an impact, and we asked for the apology on that, but it was thought out very specifically about how can we accommodate, and to be honest, many of those impacted by this closure are members that had weddings here that they planned out a long time ago. So we made that difficult decision for specifically those logistics, but we understand it's inconvenient. Any other questions about that? Yes.
My question with that is, so the River House pool was basically an adult only pool. There were children there. And so last summer with COVID, and there were so many more people here, this adult only, the lap pool over here, you couldn't even get a seat. Like so we ended up going to the River House all the time to be around adults. So this is great that you're opening up here the bar and everything, but there's, you know, this is going to be a bar with kids also running around and stuff. You know, so is there any like you know, place that adults can go and not have? I mean, I like kids, but you know, I don't have any right now.
Yeah.
I like to not have them with me, you know, by the pool.
Great question. So the answer is there is only one adult only location, which would be the Moreland lap pool area. We could take a look at how we could activate that a little bit more. It's kind of sectioned off with the cabanas there that kind of is restrictive of that. I was not aware that it was full over at the lap pool. Frequently, we've seen this pool to be very unattended. But as we kind of go through that, it will be an inconvenience for a period of time. And no, we have no plans to make any of the pools an adult-only pool, because we have so many children here participating on that. So no, that isn't something we would expand other than what we have over at that lap pool. The other thing I want to chat a little bit about is capital projects. We have a long list of projects that we're going to be doing, and I just wanted to share a couple. It seems like I'm standing close to Mr. Curtis here, and I see several things related to pickleball lighting. That's all approved. We've secured our vendor. We're in the process of scheduling the installation of that lighting. We also are looking at a kiosk over by the pickleball courts, because we've got an issue is that someone sees a court open, they don't know if it's been reserved or not. So we're trying to get the technology that we have an outdoor screen that will indicate that Mr. Smith has court number 2. So Mr. Curtis will know not to go onto that court. And once we get this technology in place, this can be something also that we have over at the fitness centers as well, as who has signed up for a particular class. There'd be a live feed that we would have had on that. And so we're testing out the technology right now that you can be aware of what's been reserved in that particular location. So more to follow on that. Also, we chatted a little bit about access control over at the lodge. We've added the gates last year. This year, we're ramping up even further on that, where the access gates to Moreland, those will be replaced with similar of the metal gates that we've used elsewhere, because those wooden gates just don't work. So we have to replace those. Also, we'll be doing the same thing that pickleball courts, the event room at the lodge, and the fitness room will also have the card swipe access too. And that's in our continuing theme of providing that access control. Shooting club, anybody a member of the shooting club? It is really neat what's happening out there. So we have added 3 additional 5 stands. We're going to have a trap and skeet course. We have 2 more sporting clay courses. We have a fit task course, which is kind of a European style sport, shooting sport. We're adding, I know this will be very appealing to everybody, is our axe throwing lane, which has become very, very popular. So we've got the archery, we've got the air rifle, we've got the axe throwing. Significant growth there, and it's beautiful. And then what we'll be doing in the process is we'll be building the new clubhouse. So it'll be generally in the same location as where the tent structure is right now. And so there'll be a little bit of disruption of traffic there, that we've kind of worked out a check-in area close to the parking lot as you come into the shooting club. But that completion of that clubhouse, we anticipate to be in fall of this year. So more to follow on that as well. So a lot of fun. Biggest concern right now is Mark's looking for ammunition. So if anybody knows where we can buy shotgun shells, it's really, really tight out there. New boat club fleet arriving this month. Freshwater boats are coming in. A little bit of delay because of COVID in certain areas, and you see that in home construction, you see that in other projects as far as available product on that. So it'll be trickling in over a period of time, but we have new boats for the boat club coming in starting this month, and you'll see more coming in March and April, and then we'll be doing a rollout on that as well. We're going to be putting up photos of the complete fleet on the member website, so that if you want to see what are all the boats available on that, that'll be up on the member website as well. Additional outdoor restaurant heaters. That's something obviously as far as having COVID sensitive experiences. We're trying to rush and get that through as quickly as possible. We have some heaters, but we're expanding upon those. So we have more options in the patios. And then lastly on here is the continued replenishment and replacement of pool furniture. And this is something that, as we're looking at our capital purchases, we have done a pretty comprehensive reserve study. And what that does, it takes a look at every single asset that we have. It assigns a life to that. so that we can properly manage our funds over a period of time. And as opposed to being reactive, we are proactive in replacing within the life that's been established in that reserve study. So a lot of items, probably not as sexy, but as far as, you know, walk-in coolers and kitchen equipment, we have a very robust schedule of replacements taking place throughout the entire property here. So very excited about that. One other, we were talking about the barn. Actually today we have Clayton Fredericks, who's a gold medalist who will be doing clinics. He's actually at Longfield Stables today and tomorrow doing equestrian clinics. Those have been well attended. We did the SCDCTA, which is a dressage jump school. They came out and did a school, and I think we have about 50 attendees. That's something we want to keep that robust programming going throughout the course of the year. But with that, why don't we open up to any Q&As, any questions anybody might have on any topic?
Greg, we had a question come in, and the question is, any updates on plans for second golf course? Within the member agreement for membership, there is a round trigger to build a golf course, 24K, given that we were over 20K rounds last year. Has any planning or thoughts gone into when the second course would need to be built?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we brought this up a couple of times, and I'll just repeat, the second golf course, we have intrinsic to the membership plan for the golf course is that the construction will begin when we hit a threshold of 24,500 rounds. Now, we've said this before, and on the member website, we put up the number of rounds up on the golf course. Our participation from the hotel is very much less than what we ever anticipated for it to be. The participation from our members has gone through the roof. Golf, I mean, as far as the sport of golf, COVID has been very favorable to golf. And the amount of rounds that we're seeing is just over the top. But the other thing is there's a cap, as when we hit 325 tier 1 members, we can't sell anymore. So we have, over the years, been very active. We've looked at locations as far as where that course could be. We've sent out requests for proposal as far as the next golf course. So we're definitely ramping up, and we've got a general concept that we're thinking about as far as the golf course. The actual specific time is unknown, but I'll tell you one thing is our projections are indicating it's going to be sooner than what we originally thought because of the continued growth of rounds, new golf memberships, and just members in general joining here. So more to follow on that. We don't have any specific dates, but we certainly have sent out, we talked to multiple golf architects, and we have sent out a request for proposal on that. I think Mrs. Dale had a question too.
When I make a reservation with the online app, which I love, by the way, I like having that control.
Okay.
But regardless of what restaurant on campus that I make the reservation, my calendar on my phone tells me that I have a reservation at the May River Grill in downtown Bluffton. It doesn't matter what restaurant. I can't be the only one at this office.
I'll let Leslie, I'm not, we're sending business to downtown Bluffton, one moment.
So I was quite baffled by that too, Karen. So I have talked to 3 different areas and they did look into this. It is a Google function. It is actually Google, for some reason, identifying Meadow Bluff as the May River Grill in Bluffton. So they had put a request to Google to, you know, it's like, it might be this or it might, and it recommends it. Our system doesn't put an event on the calendar at all. So that would be Google guessing that that's where you're going, but it is very odd, and I am looking into that. That was one I was stumped on. I will have more to come on that. On the other items of the dining app, we have had some revelations as to why. Has anyone gotten an email that said you're confirmed and then you're canceled? Okay, I have figured that one out. So when you go to reserve the time, you have to go all the way to the bottom and agree and click confirm. What it does is it confirms it, but if you don't click agree to the terms of the dress code and those kinds of things, it will cancel it immediately. That is something that we didn't realize that you had to, people couldn't see that it said agree very prominently, so we're gonna put some lettering at the top that says must agree to continue. That's what I did figure out. There's also a timing out issue that they are diligently working on. We have noticed the timing out issue is on your phone or tablet. So that is what we are also working on. So this is a brand new system they actually custom created for us so that you didn't have to go to an outside party to make it. You could stay within the website to do it. But the mobile app, it's the iOS system that is causing the timeout issues. That one we're on as well. If you have any problems, come to me. I have learned way more than I ever thought about this, but I don't know if the May River Grill is, you know, paying more to get this. I don't know how that's happening, but I hope. So we will keep figuring that out. I had it happen to any of them. So yes, I'll continue to look into that one. I have had issues where I booked a salon and actually put a different salon on my calendar. So it does a lot of guessing and a lot of times it's just a glitch in the system. So do not go to the May River Grill in Bluffton in that case. So.
And we also have David O'Donohue, where we might have some questions coming up that you may be interested in responding to. But let me just go to that one, the whole agreement relative to the confirmation, I accept this here. We did have an issue over the holidays. I just wanted to bring this up real quickly is we do have certain members that are making multiple restaurants at multiple locations at the same time. And we're looking at some technology to fix that. We also have a lot of reservations being made and not met, so we're displacing members. So we're trying to make sure that people are acknowledging that I understand that if I do not cancel within an appropriate time on that, is I will be charged a cancellation fee. We have no desire whatsoever to charge a cancellation fee. We just want to remember, if you can't make it to a restaurant, is give us the courtesy of canceling so another member can book into that space. Because of COVID and the limited availability we have, it's really, really tight. So we're asking for everybody's support on that. I think Mr. Lobb has a question. The road to Anson.
Good morning. Great question, Jeff. We announced last year that we were planning on starting the engineering for the road to Anson. It's a little over a 9-mile road. We have spent about $600,000 so far on engineering, permitting, drafting. We'd hope to go physically into Anson. Last year we slowed down because of COVID, but we are active again. I would say to you, if you go down to Anson, which I don't want you to do, you would see that we've been in that site. We've done a bunch of bush hogging. We're actively timbering. We're doing an extreme amount of riprap to protect the causeways. And our intent is when the weather warms up about March, we're going to start doing some sneak peeks. So we're going to bring some members down and show you what's happening down there and show you this incredible place that is our future village site. The road will probably take about 16 months to construct because it's not just a physical road. You have to do the utilities, sewer, water, everything else. We would like to be physically in the site late 22, early 23. We've had questions about what if we went there and started right away? How quick could that happen? It would still take about a year just because you get utilities and services down there.
Greg, what's the status of the water stations that you're contemplating around property?
Yeah, thanks. And I'll kind of give a plug to Dylan Lingard, who is in our engineering department, who has been given of sustainability, looking at it pervasively throughout the property. Utilization of mulch, at what we're doing with glass and so he's installed several already. It's a process now that we're trying onto ramping up pickleball courts over by the golf course. Of more being put out in the fitness facilities, and it's our commitment to sustainability. Thank you. I think, did you have a polling question?
Yeah, we have quite a few questions. The first one is, per the reserve study, what percentage of the replacement cost does the current reserve represent?
Okay, so that question, what percentage of the cost does the current reserve represent? So what that's referring to is funds being held, and that's typically something in a preservation trust. We don't have funds specifically pigeonholed for the reserve study. We definitely can see how much those funds will be and plan in our budgeting process. And obviously that can ebb and flow with it, whether it be real estate sales, but there isn't a bucket of cash sitting there specifically representing that reserve study.
There are actually a number of reserve studies. The hotel has one, the club has one, and the POA has one. The POA has been funding its reserve. We are north of $4.5 million. And according to our reserve study, we are highly funded. If you recall, when Matthew came through, we used $2 million to bring the space back to life within 10 days. And those funds came out of the reserve study. We subsequently got some back from insurance, and we have refunded the reserve. If you don't know, or even if you do know, I'll remind you, every year the developer pays its fair share. So if we have 200 lots per sale, we pay our 200 share of the POA. Also, every time there's a transaction upon a block, be it a resale or a developer sale, it goes into the community enhancement fee. That community enhancement fee, 50% of that 1% goes to fund the conservancy, Jamie's team. 25% goes to the POA for the reserve study, and 25% goes to the POA for its operations. And then also our gate income, which we charge contractors for licenses, all of those funds go to the POA as well, which funds the POA, which keeps all of our dues in the POA down, and also funds the reserve. Related to the capital reserve for the club, that is the developer. So all of the development enhancements, referred to the river house, second golf course, all of these things are funded by the developer, and the developer is committed to funding them at this time.
The next two questions that were sent in kind of go together, so I'm going to read them both for you. The first being, I am hearing more rumors that Palmetto Bluff has or soon will have a new owner. Could you share what you are hearing? And the second is, there are some rumors floating around the club that the remaining land to PB has been sold. Can you comment on those rumors as well?
Certainly. So I love rumors, and never believe a rumor you don't check yourself. So I joined Palmetto Bluff 5 years ago. My first property owner update was September of that year. And I remember saying at that event, and I'm saying frequently since then, our ownership are commercial investors. They are private equity funds. Their normal horizon of investment is 3 to 5 years. They've been in Palmetto Bluff for 12 years. We are commercial investors. We are always passively listening. Somebody came and was the right owner at the right time with the right wallet, we would listen. Other than that, I can't speak to rumors.
And while we have you up there, any update on the medical campus senior facility?
Yes, the Ramsey Corps, who are developing the wellness facility, which will have independent living, continuing care, memory care, an array of medical services, are actively planning and designing. We are working with them on a communication strategy. And most recently, last Thursday, we had a call with their team, our marketing team, our PR team. And we gave them all of the questions that have been asked by the residents in the past year relating to this facility. We had an aha moment that they can't answer a lot of them today because they don't have the answers. Some of the answers was, when will you be open? How much is it going to cost for my parents to live there? Will you be giving me diet restrictions in the restaurant? So they're going to pause for about 45 days, gather as many of those answers, and come in March or April and do a series of campus meetings and Q&As with the greater resident base. I do know that they've secured a dentist, they've secured a medical spa, they've secured a rehabilitation doctor, and they are almost secured to concierge doctors. And all of those services will be storefront, so they will be available for everybody who lives at Palmetto Bluff, including the residents of this space.
While you're not answering questions, the Wildcam lawsuit settled. That's part one. Part two is if Palmetto Bluff were to be sold to a different hedge fund, what do you anticipate would be the effect on the development, the management, and members?
If you heard the Wildcam suit is settled, you're one up on me. That is still active litigation. It's very passive litigation. They filed it almost 2 years ago. Nothing has happened, but it has not been closed. The litigation is still open. And that litigation is related to the construction road access, which sits on Wildcam land. Wildcam believe they're entitled to the revenue from that access. We don't believe that. We believe it's the POA is entitled to it. So that's what the litigation is related to. But no, it has not been settled. We have not gone to court. There's been no actions, no legal actions. If Palmetto was to be sold, what would be the impact? To be candid, I don't know. So I would speculate none. I would speculate new capital and a new perception or a new time of capital could rapidly change things. We could see things happening quicker. Golf course, marinas, because the new capital could be pushing to push absorption, increase pace. Our development agreement with the town of Bluffton cannot be changed unless we open it up to public dissertation. So the development agreement is up to 4,000 DUs spread over the 20,000 acres, limited commercial. That can't be changed. Minimal docks on the water. Obviously the existing ones in Wilson, the one in Moreland and the marina site in Anson. That can't be changed unless you open it to the public. As a developer, you try never to reopen your development agreement because it just, times change. If you think about it, it was signed 20 years ago, there might be a different point of view today. So we have a great development agreement. So from that perspective, I doubt a new owner would change that, which means the path of progress that we've always talked about remains the same. How we're selling the product we're doing, it's for single family homes, it can't be condos, it can't be apartments. So it's a very vague answer to a very open-ended question. And I would imagine looking at this from somebody else's lens, you know, Palmetto Bluff is a phenomenal place that we are highly passionate about and emotionally connected to. It's also in a really incredible time. It's poised for long-term sustainability with the growth of residents, the growth of the hotel, the growth of the club. We are at a very safe place financially, which we weren't in 2009 when we went bankrupt. There are almost 300 homes in design or under construction. So this place is just growing in leaps and bounds as it was supposed to be. So if you think about in 2009 when the world stopped, there was only 250 homes. And there was a 50-room hotel that was underutilized. We all loved it. I visited it a few times in my past, but it was costing $6 million to keep the lights on. We are now at a really healthy place. Also, as a developer, you never get a chance to reset normally. And if you go on MLS today, there's about 7 lots for sale in the resale market and about 10 homes. That's unheard of when we've got 1,100 lots sold and almost 900 homes constructed. So as a developer, you're coming into a place that's like greenfield development. So I don't think anybody would change anything. I think they would take great advantage of what is here, the brand equity, the loyalty, the passion that's been developed in 20 years, and go from there. I think there's that runaway comment in most businesses, but in our businesses, you know, the pioneers get the arrows, the farmers get the land, and the third bankruptcy gets the profit.
So right out here on the way to Moreland, as you're coming along this road, on the right-hand side, that first bridge, you clear the whole swath. Is that where that waterway is gonna be extended? Is that gonna be?
Yes,
dredged
the
out there?
exhibits that we've shown over the past few meetings, and it's a great visual. As you're coming out on the left, at the 35 lots that we saw last year, the road is just being finished, that little neighborhood. On the right now, you can just peek. If you were to go back there, which I hope you don't, because there's a lot of big vehicles driving around, you would see deep holes, and the inland waterway will continue there. And the inland waterway will ultimately go all the way to Janssen Marina site. The inland waterway will be about 25 to 30 miles of lagoons, and so you can get in a Duffy with a cooler at the canoe club. And you can start drinking,
And a week later,
and you can start drinking your way. You can stop at the hotel and get a refill. You can pull into your friends at the lodge and get a refill. You can get a more than get a refill. Somewhere in that little piece there'll be a little depot to stop and another bar. And you can drink your way down there. Or you can kayak if you're really active.
We have a couple more questions that came in. We understand that there are many people who make multiple boat reservations for the channel boats for the same night at the same time for many weeks in a row. These tend to be prime time. Why is that allowed?
I don't know the answer to that. So, as you said before, this whole reservation. Up to the moment, we'll take a look at that and see. We are thinking about perhaps having a different reservation platform that can control that. That's something that we're talking about. But I was not aware of multiple. Now, it will be highly alleviated by the additional electric boats that we're getting. But I will take a look at that and see if we do have any offenders.
And the final question we have, are there any Super Bowl takeout available from the smokehouse tomorrow?
And also, I think also Mrs. Singh had an answer on that. I'm not familiar with takeout from Smokehouse. Are you familiar with what we have? Okay, so the answer to the question about Super Bowls is all the facilities are available for takeout. There isn't something specific from the Smokehouse for that, but we do have kind of a member gathering here for the Super Bowl here at Kohl's.
I don't know if this is possible right now, but have you thought about like training somebody to vaccinate people here? I mean, right now vaccination is
Oh, vaccinations. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a great question. And so I was mentioning to a few of you here as far as vaccinations, and it opened up a couple weeks ago where those over the age of 65 the vaccination. So we quickly, we have a couple of members here that we've chatted with who helped us out very familiar with the processes, Dr. Darling and Dr. Mothershead. And we said, is there any way that we could kind of engage with EPAC that we could do some of those vaccinations here? So we reached out and took a look at it. So if you looked at it, when it first came out in the vaccinations, everybody was able to make reservations. And then because of lack of supply, they actually canceled many of those here. It's the availability of vaccines is not sufficient. I mean, they're trying to catch up on it right now. I've chatted with a few of you as far as going to alternative locations because of how tight it is. I don't think we'll have an opportunity to do it here on property. And hopefully we'll get some catch up on that. But it would have been great to be able to do it here, but I don't see that being viable.
We also reached out to a number of the concierge doctors that live here and work close by. And to be candid, none of them wanted to be in the vaccinations business. Because if they did, they would have to provide it open, and they would rather just focus on their network of patients. So they were uncomfortable being in the vaccination business. So we were unable to get a vaccination site here at Palmetto Bluff.
Thank you.
Tier 1 members are we at now?
We're just looking at this. I want to say it's 252, I think, right now, tier 1. 325, and just to repeat that, is when we hit 325, that's the maximum number of memberships we can sell unless we build a second golf course, and then it opens it up there. Tier 1, correct. And with the growth that we've seen of golf memberships, particularly we saw a lot of Tier 2, which is really kind of the gateway drug going to Tier 1. So we see people coming in there, so there's a backlog. And if we're at the 250 and we're seeing this velocity, it's coming. It's coming. Other questions? Well, thanks everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Really appreciate your time. And until next call from the DM.